All right. Episode 17. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Sorry for the hiatus. It was crazy since the National. Just absolutely unbelievable. Busy, getting back on track. Just really excited because we're actually adding a new awesome member to the pod. Someone who's very knowledgeable, crazy big collector, just kicks the shit out of me out of the water. Just his collection blows me out. Just want to welcome our good buddy, new member, Rick. Rick is here. What's up, buddy?
Dakota, what's up, man? Happy to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. So tell us more about yourself and how you started collecting, get into it. I feel like you've been doing it quite a bit longer than me. So
Yeah, man, you're adding a resident old man to the podcast here. So, so I started collecting as long as I can remember ago. My dad grew up collecting, so he was born in the mid '60s, so he's got like a killer '70s collection, right? So all sports, baseball, basketball, football, all the big names. And he's one of those guys that's super meticulous, even as a kid. So all of his stuff is actually in pretty killer shape, and he's got it all. Yeah, so I grew up, around the Clementes, around the Dr. J's, around all the cool stuff that you can imagine. And then I'm a '90s kid, right? So I'm a product of the junk wax era. All the stuff.
I'm similar. I was a little young. I was like 1 to 5 in the 90s. So
yeah, dude, right. So I've got all the Griffey rookies, all the Sosa rookies, right? So I'm a huge Cubs fan. You see Wrigley in my background.
Yeah.
So all that stuff is kind of my bread and butter. Of course, maybe the last year I kind of took a hiatus was LeBron's rookie year. So I stepped out, right as maybe the most generational talent in a guy whose cards are going to last forever. But really got back into it in COVID, right? So I'm still here all the time. And like baseball's my thing, right? So I played hoops in college, but really baseball is my sport. So I'm just like you, big time prospector.
Yeah, that's what we do. That's how we met. That's how we are now. We're good friends now. That's all we do is talk baseball all day, every day. Unbelievable. I'm so happy you're here to have your knowledge and your drive for the sport and just your prospecting, how much you love baseball cards. And we already have a plan to go to the National next year. I'm really happy to have you here. It's going to be a good time. But let's get kicked off. We're going to do our headlines first. So there's some really shitty ones, obviously. Mike Trout rehab. That was a couple weeks ago. Just got news that he is out for the season again. At this point, it'll never end. We are losing again. One of the most generational best players ever we'll ever see, and we're gonna lose him again and again and again, like a Ken Griffey Jr. situation. It really sucks, but I hope he comes back next year healthy, maybe just as a straight DH. Stop playing the fucking field. Sorry.
Yeah, dude, they have to pull him out of the field, right? Like they've already put the governor on him. They haven't let him really steal many bases. It's time to just take him completely out of the field, full on DH. It's just one of those ones where it's, as a pure baseball fan, it just makes you sad, right? Like almost brings like a tear to your eye. Because he's just one of those guys.
I was sick when he was on that tear in the beginning of the year. And then as soon as I got the news about the meniscus, I was like, motherfucker, this is like the worst thing that ever happened. Like, and then we're like, all right, he's going to be back this year at least. And one game into a rehab and gone. So,
yeah. It almost gives you a little reminiscent of Griffey there, right?
Yeah.
Griffey had a string, just a string of those injuries, back to back to back. And then he had some good years in Cincinnati, right? They kind of put the governor on him a little bit, right?
Limited, but yeah. I mean, still great. I even when I see like a Griffey, like a Reds card autograph out in the wild, I think they're kind of sick still. Like even the dynasties, I know they sell for significantly less. I still love seeing them. They're badass. But like when I was at the National with Johnny, I always sent him every Ken Griffey dynasty, and he's like, I'm not gonna fucking buy that. He's a huge Mariners fan. But
I would love to hit one of the autos in the new Topps Chrome. I think his are only in the Breaker's Delight, I believe, and there's only like 91.
Which I actually do want to get to. That's something we're going to add again later in another topic. We're going to talk about that because I found out about that at the National, but I'll get into that after the headlines because that was furious. Next one is Max Clark to high A. I snagged. We were at a card show the other day, and I snagged one from under you. You were bailing on it, so I took it. It was a Refractor PSA 9 Bowman first auto. Okay. If you can go back in the podcast from like the episode 3 and 4 or 5, I can guarantee I said I'll never buy Max Clark. I think he sucks. But he took a monster dip, and right now he was at a monster dip, and the last 3 of that card sold for 300, and I got it for smoking deal, so I couldn't pass it up. And I was like, they're a refractor auto. People love that shit. I don't care for refractor autos, but a lot of people tend to really flock to them for like buying and stuff. So I snagged it.
Yeah, for sure. Like the true rainbow collectors, right? Refractor is kind of their gold standard.
It's kind of even like when we're at shows and we're selling like refractor stuff. Like I'll have a purple or, for example, greens, because I like greens too.
Yeah.
People will not buy them for me. They're like, oh, it's a purple, it's a green. And listen, I preach this. I had an episode about it where I screamed at the top of my fucking lungs. Dude, I don't care. It's purple or green. They are a rarer parallel. There's a less of a print run. I like rarity. Sure, purple's not appealing to all people, but also sometimes I can't even tell if a refractor is a fucking refractor.
Yeah,
I want color.
Yeah, totally. They put the stamps and the numbering on the back sometimes it's on the front. That changes a lot product to product. But I mean, I have 2 little kids, right? I've got a 4 and a 6-year-old. And the last time I checked, purple or violet and green are part of the fucking rainbow. So get out of here with this OG blue blood bullshit that it's only got to be refractor blue, gold. Like, come on.
Thank you. A color is a color. It's a lesser print run. They're fucking awesome. And first, I mean, I know purple's tough because for color match wise, you got the Rockies. Whoop-de fucking do. No one does it. The Rockies suck. But for the A's, dude, they're fucking, the greens are amazing. You had the Jacob Wilson and you had I think you still have the Geloff, right?
Yeah, still have the Geloff. It's so sick.
Badass. They're fucking awesome. And I love the greens. And the green grass parallel is a top-notch parallel. Whoever hates it can fuck right off.
Totally agree, buddy.
Next is a couple cycles. One is one that I never millionaires would have thought it would have happened was Yordan Alvarez.
Dude, 2 very unexpected cycles.
Holy shit. I mean, that, first of all, absolute superstar of the league. Underrated in fantasy, the regular baseball league, and especially in the hobby. Crazy underrated. Yordan Alvarez is a superstar, in my opinion. And for him to hit the cycle, you should have seen his stuff go nuts. But also, again, Topps 2020, ugliest design of all time.
Yeah, that definitely hurts his value, I think, a little bit, right? There's a little bit of recency bias. The Topps 2020 sucks so bad. But you're right. Like, even when he goes off in the playoffs. He leads the Astros to the fucking World Series. His market barely sees a blip on the radar. It's one of those guys I can't ever figure out why he's so underrated.
He's a guy that I did buy last year thinking like, okay, it's, 3 years out of his rookie year. Shit's going to start bumping. And then you kind of see him took the same way as Luis Robert and Bo Bichette, who are also in Topps 2020. They suck. The Topps, but if you go look at his Bowman rookie card, not his first, but his rookie, they fucking boom. Those things are killer. I remember I had a green PSA 10 that I bought during like a big hype during like a little bit like after COVID, but when shit was still getting crazy. I bought that thing for a ton of money and I sold it. I made a profit, but again, not one I really wanted to move. It was so awesome. And it's that Bowman was really hard to find. I think it was 2018 Bowman. So killer card for him. And the other one is Xavier Edwards. I remember you texted me and you're like, Xavier Edwards hit for the cycle. I'm like, no, he didn't.
So, I mean, he was a former like Padres, I think, prospect, right?
Yeah.
So
I think he was the Josh Bell deal.
I think he might have been the Josh Bell deal, right? So I hit some of his cards in a break like a year ago, right? And I held right at that time. It didn't really have much of a market. But like, he's been consistently a pretty good minor league baseball player. Yeah. Right. I figured he just needs an extended look. He had a couple weird fluke injuries, but needed an extended look. And his cycle was pretty unique in the fact that it was a game where he hit his first career home run. What capped off the cycle. So
Yeah, he is reminiscent to me, like we talked about earlier before the podcast, like Victor Scott. That speedy guy is not going to hit a ton of home runs, but he's got a good game, good glove. Do I think he's going to be hobby relevant? No, but it's for two reasons. Two, he ain't going to hit for power, and he's on the fucking Marlins.
on the Marlins, dude.
Yeah.
On the Marlins.
I know you
Enough
took a
said.
hit on that one over the last week for the trade deadline. Next on the list, Walker Jenkins to high A. Yeah, big prospect, high school guy. But grown-ass man, very high market. We obviously know that from Bowman Series 1. Because I was in the break for the Twins. I didn't get dog shit. Jackson Holliday recall. Hits his first grand slam. Hits another home run today. Is this the Jackson Holliday turnaround?
So I've never jumped off ship of Jackson Holliday. I think he's elite. I think he's one of the bigger bat prospects, all around kind of tool prospects we've seen in a long, long time. Yes, his first taste was as bad as it could possibly get, but he's got a couple good things lined up for him going right now. Right, obviously Jordan Westburg breaks his hand. Right, O's make a couple trades. Right, couple trades at the deadline. Kind of clear.
Norby's gone too.
Yeah, Norby's gone. Westberg's out. So there's a clear path, right? He's taking over every day. They got him in the 9-hole, right? Take as much pressure off him as they possibly can. Man, I think he's here for good.
I'd like to say yes, but there's always the error side where he could just hit that skid again and they option him again. They have the options. And I don't think they're afraid to keep optioning him and use those minor league options to bring him back down and up, because it comes to the point where if they really truly believe in him, they'll sign him to that monster extension, or they, like we thought, maybe he was going to be traded during the trade deadline for a monster deal. I just didn't think any of the deals really fit what the Orioles needed at that time. I think maybe the only one that would have fit would probably be Screwball or Crochet. Again, they don't want to trade a generational prospect for a pitcher.
For sure.
I just think if there were to be a deal for a pitcher, it'd have to be like a DeGrom-esque guy that has 3-4 years of dominance, and we know he's the best pitcher in the league. Not even close. You know,
for sure.
It's just hard.
And a guy's got to be pretty cheap, right? The O's don't love to go out and spend a ton of money. Crochet to me never made sense, right? With his innings limitations, you know, kind of in his past. Plus his demands for his contract once he got traded, that was an interesting move. Kind of limits the trade market there.
Screwball might be the same way because we also haven't got a lot of Screwball. Exactly. And he's a 21 guy, still really young, relatively newer, hasn't hit that probably 170 inning echelon, which very rarely pitchers do nowadays. As you can see with like Tanner Houck right now, he's struggling mightily because he's never hit that. He's hit his career high 3 starts ago, and you're really seeing him starting to struggle because of it. So this is something you have to see when you're trading for that starting pitcher. But for me, again, I do think Jackson Holliday has really is acclimated now. He's really, you can see in his approach, hitting the ball well. He kind of got rid of that big leg kick that he had that was going to fuck him forever if he didn't get rid of it. So they nabbed that quick, and I think you're going to see Holliday stay. I mean, you see him on the field, and you're like, there's a fucking child on the field, you know? But I mean, when you do it, you're like, okay, obviously this kid is something. It's literally a baby on the field, and he's actually competing, and he looks confident. So, and you could, I mean, his price has already jumped like fucking crazy again. Like we were at the show yesterday, we saw the Jackson Holliday Mega Box Auto from Bowman, the PSA 10, and we looked at comps, and there was like a 300, 350, and then last one sold after the Grand Slam for like $700. So again, hype effect. Am I investing in Jackson Holiday? No. It's a lot of a lot to lose at this point. It's just like a Skeens, or it's just like Skeens right now. I mean, I'm not going to throw money into Skeens because it's just way too fucking expensive.
Exactly. And like you said, the one home run has already got his prices not necessarily back from where they were peak, pre first call up, but like those prices at pre first call up were already in the fucking clouds, dude. They were already like there wasn't a whole lot of room for them to grow. So
yeah, and it's just like like with Skeens right now. You're seeing random third year or not third year, second year Bowman parallels going for $100+. Like, come on, really?
Dude, yeah, dude. I was in like a Whatnot stream yesterday, and I watched just those inserts that you get from 23 draft.
Yeah.
They're dog shit. They're ugly. They were going for 40, 50, 60 bucks. PSA 10s are doing 200 in those things. It's insane.
Yeah. And I think I told you at the show the other day, I had a Sapphire Selections, just non-auto out of 50. And I sold it for like $80 when he like first got called up and everything. He was doing good. Dude, that thing sells for like $600 right now.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. This is just people hype behind whatever kind of card he has, which is, guys, it's fucking stupid because guess what? Literally in like 2 months, he's going to have a Topps Chrome Update rookie card. Autos galore. That product is going to be expensive as fuck. Oh, and am I going to buy it? Yes, I'm going to fucking buy it. How are you?
Absolutely.
We're going to go on a date, and we're just going to get like, all right, you got your box? Let's go fucking rip it.
Yeah. We're gonna bottle of wine, we'll get some candles, and then we'll get a couple boxes of Topps Chrome Update.
We're going to get real seductive. Open that real slow. Awesome. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. All right. Guys, all right. It's a podcast. Don't get me horny, okay? Jesus Christ. Next on the line, Christian Moore. Christian Moore is a Tennessee guy, won the College World Series. He's really good. I was familiar with him because I thought he was going to fall to the Red Sox in the draft. He ended up going to the Angels, which was a perfect fit for him because when they were talking about him in a scouting report, he was the most MLB ready talent. That's not saying he's going to be an MLB elite talent, but he was just most ready and prepared to be an MLB bat. His ceiling isn't like God level. I think he's going to be like second or third tier player, not first tier, S tier, some monster. I think he's going to be a talented player, but it's great for him for the Angels because the Angels have been fast tracking these fucking guys from the draft the last couple of years and before. Quick as hell. Like you see with Nolan Shanwell. And you see it because he's getting called up to AA already after like 3 games. So, and he's doing well. He's playing well in those few games. So good for Christian Moore.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the Angels, man, it's just what perpetually the front office, right? Perpetually the front office, right? I mean, you see the big contracts that they've doled out the last decade or so.
Anthony Rendon was the worst contract in history.
Rendon, maybe the worst contract ever. CJ Wilson, they paid that dude a ton of money. Right?
Okay, dude, listen here. Argument here. I love CJ Wilson.
He was a good pitcher.
He was nasty on the Rangers, and then he went to the Angels. I loved him.
Yeah,
he was the stereotype fight necklace guy, badass. He was what you wanted to be as a high school ball player. Like he's like, you're like, I love this guy. But they did pay him a ton of money, and again, didn't pay out. I mean, they won a series, so
yeah, that's true.
Worth the money, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But either way, like you said, just fast tracking these guys. Obviously, they're trying to get the cheapest way to get talent around Mike Trout they can. Right? Obviously, let Ohtani walk out the door. You pay Rendon way too much money for a guy who gets hurt a lot and has been on record for saying that he doesn't really even like baseball. So
yeah, I fucking hate that guy so much. But Christian Moore, we'll segue this into a lot of draft picks making their debut. So these are guys you can look at upcoming in Bowman. Now, I think Bowman Chrome's coming out soon. Yeah, none of these guys will touch Chrome.
Yeah, they don't really sprinkle guys in the Chrome.
It'll
mostly international prospects.
Yeah, first taste you'll get out of these guys as draft. Assuming you'll see. God, who the hell is it? Travis Bazzana, Caglione, those guys. I'm 100% confident that Travis Bazzana will be in draft. But like guys like Caglione, a few other guys, they'll probably sprinkle into first Bowman next year. But Bazzana is probably the headliner.
Yeah, for sure.
Bazzana made his debut the other day and showing why he's the first overall pick, just fucking hitting the piss out of the ball. And this is something I said on last episode. Don't be surprised if you might see Travis Bazzana getting called up by the Guardians. The way they're playing in a position they're in, and they need a second baseman right now. Don't be surprised if he gets called up by the end of this year for their playoff run. Granted, they'll need to do it early so he gets eligible, but he could fucking help. Don't be surprised. A bunch of other guys getting debuted too, so keep an eye on them.
He's as big of an impact as there is. And I mean, man, draft is just such an exciting product every single year. Such we have to wait till like December, right? Like it just.
So last year, I went to when I was working at Great Lakes. I ended up I didn't buy it. He doesn't get it. So he doesn't get it because it's a very expensive product, hard to move, obviously. So I went to David Adams. I had a bunch of gift cards. So I ended up getting my box for like $375, $400, which is still fucking crazy money.
Sure.
Didn't pull a fucking thing. Like I got like a Noble Meyer base auto and like I think I got a refractor Jacob Gonzalez auto. Nothing good. So yeah, but I mean, Bowman draft obviously. Listen, if you're listening to this, don't buy Bowman drafts. Don't buy it. Just break. If you're gonna spend $650 to $700, which is probably gonna be even more next year, don't buy that fucking box. Do not.
The box is insane. The box is insane. Smartest, yes.
Yeah.
There's smartest move. Wait 3 weeks. Buy the singles.
Yeah.
First wave. It's gonna be insane. Wait 3 weeks. Buy the singles. Or if you're true degenerate, get no break.
Like you.
Or 5 or 10.
Us?
So I did it all right with 23 draft. I'm a still believer in him. He's had a rough year. Colin Houck. He's my guy. So I was doing a lot of PYTs. I was buying the Mets a lot. Hit the True Black.
I feel like I know Colin Houck had a lot of hype right out the gate because he was kind of like one of those ones that like fringe first tier guys in that product.
Yeah.
But he is a good example of where he is a really good buy low. He has shown he's 19 years old. For me, I really don't like the high school guys. I like to wait a couple of years, but I just bought a Max Clark so I can shove my opinion up my ass. But like Max Clark, Houck, there's a bunch of other guys. Like I don't like to tend to buy them right away. It's hard for me.
Sure.
I just don't. I like the college guys because you kind of know where they're at, what they could be, instead of throwing like I'm not going to go and spend $600 on a fucking Max Clark Bowman first auto PSA 10 parallel and then just be like, he could probably be nothing. I don't know. At least when they come out of college, I have some kind of gauge on what kind of player they're going to be and if I do want to throw money into them. So,
for sure. Yeah, those big high school guys that are $500, $600, $700 on release, and you got to think about the longevity of just holding that card 4 or 5 years until they get called up.
I mean, there's these guys that are like Walker Jenkins, grown ass man, 19 years old, dude's built like fucking Schwarzenegger, just big ass dude. He's obviously very talented, and he was like out of Bowman when I got in that break. I didn't go after Cruz. I went after Jenkins. I thought Jenkins was going to be the guy. Cruz is playing really well right now.
Sure.
But I truly thought it was going to be Jenkins. And this is a perfect example of I didn't buy a box of Bowman. But I went to a break. I got fucked that time. But you never know. You are a huge break guy. You love breaks. And I know you've hit crazy. I need to go in the ones you're in. So, yeah. But on to the next thing. Your guy, Xavier Isaac, the AA. And looking great.
He's my boy. He's the number one first base prospect for a reason, dude. I mean, the kid just impacts the baseball. Like if you watch live, like I'm a degenerate, so I watch plenty of minor league baseball games. As little college I watch a shitload of minor league games. I watch, follow my guys on YouTube clips.
We got all the knowledge. We got our college. We got our minor league guy.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's one of those guys when you hear the ball off the bat, it just sounds different. So, I mean, I'm a massive, massive believer in him. I'm sitting on, a pretty good portion of the lower end of the rainbow. So,
No, you won't show me. Just show
oh,
me.
yeah,
I want to see it all.
yeah, yeah,
You
dude.
never bring
Yeah.
it. I'm like, give me. I want to see everything you
Well,
got.
you sold me the speckle, so
Oh my god, that was so long ago, dude. Oh my
yeah,
lord.
yeah, you sold me the
Yeah, I
speckle in a
sold a
dime.
lot of shit for that.
So, and he's another one of those ones that's a redemption, right? So you got guys like
Mhm.
Bolte, you got guys like Tamar, you got guys, those redemptions that don't always get fulfilled, and then they end up being SPs. And in the long run, like the value just goes up and up and up.
Wasn't Brady House like some of his parallels redemptions, but they're all non-autos?
Yeah, he was a weird one too, right? Because his first
He had
auto was
no
the
autos,
following
but
year.
his stuff
Yeah,
was redemption.
yeah, he's a really
Very
weird
odd.
case.
Very odd. Yeah. So past Xavier Isaac, we have another shitty news. A big prospect, young one, international guy for the Seattle Mariners, Felman Celestin. Wrist surgery. Um, return is TBA. I'm assuming he's out for the rest of the season this year. He was playing really well, which sucks. And he was becoming a bigger prospect. But if you're a Seattle Mariners guy, like I have two friends who are huge Seattle Mariners psychopaths, so anytime I get one, it goes to them. My guy is Lazaro Montes. Holy fuck. 19 years old, swinging like a grown ass man. This is like, honestly, that's going to be a Ronald Acuna level talent, in my opinion. That's a big shot, but he's talented.
He reminds me of Jordan Alvarez. He
Yeah.
hits the fucking ball like Jordan.
And he's going to grow to be a big fucking boy.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. Yeah,
eyes on him.
Feldman's a tough one. He was a 23 Bowman Chrome guy, right? International prospect, super young. When he was in the product, even for the first, I feel like couple of months, he had no games on U.S. soil, right? Didn't even make it over in the rookie ball yet, and there was just massive, massive
I actually
hype.
pulled his Mojo Gold out of 50, like a non-auto, obviously, out of a mega box.
Yeah,
I sold it, and I'm like, who? I sold it for like $60. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Never really heard of him. And then I'm looking like his stuff is expensive, and it just keeps going up.
Yeah.
I need to get one, like a PSA 10 auto. Bad.
Yeah, I mean, right now, the next month or two, even probably now heading into the off season, he'll probably have a little bit of a dip. Well, he's probably a good buy low candidate.
I
sure.
think that's one of the guys I'm going to probably look at. Maybe I want to get Raw, obviously, so we can throw him into our grading pile. It's just he's one of those guys that got graded so much right away. Like anything you do find graded or ungraded right now, there's a reason it's ungraded.
Exactly.
So yeah. So next we got another call up, Brandon Sproat, Mets pitcher. This guy up to AAA. This is a guy I really like because he's a strikeout animal. Has some really good strikeout stuff. And you could see him debut this year. Absolutely. I think with their needs in the rotation, I like him a lot. How you feeling about him?
Oh yeah, the kid can definitely shove. And like the Mets are one of those organizations that just have a history of just killer power arms, right? That go through the system, right? DeGrom, Syndergaard, Wheeler, Matt Harvey, right? I mean, he was probably the biggest prospect of all of them when he came up. The Dark Knight was absolutely filthy. So yeah, I'm super excited about Sprout and what he can do.
He is someone that's like a very big dark horse for me.
And is he the guy? He doesn't have any Bowman cards at all, right?
I think. Let me look. I think he has some weird ones. I don't think he has the first auto.
I don't. He actually. I wonder if he'll be a guy that might sneak in
as a no Bowman, just rookie card.
Yeah.
No, Brandon Sprout has nothing.
Nothing, right? So it's crazy. He's got top 5 prospect for the Mets, massive arm, and he's a guy that doesn't have any bone.
His stuff. He has Elite Extra Edition. He's got a USA. No, that's a in-person auto for Stars and Stripes. I think his only auto right now is his Elite Extra Edition.
Yeah,
it's the only thing I'm seeing.
Stuff.
Oh wait, he has a Stars and Stripes. We're not looking at. He has a Stars and Stripes.
Okay.
So, yeah, I actually really fucking love. Oh, he has He has Stars and Stripes RPAs.
Oh, that's nasty. See, I'm
Yeah.
wondering when they'll sneak him into a Bowman product.
I think they're going to miss it, just like Nolan
Just wait
Shanwell.
till tops. Yeah.
Nolan Shanwell doesn't have a Bowman first auto. He went from draft to MLB. Angels.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of breaks, I hit his refractor auto in 24 Bowman. It's a rookie because he doesn't have a first.
Shanwell? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, so like Christian Moore, if he gets called up this year, no Bowman first. Guarantee it.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll put him right. I mean,
I hate that.
He wasn't a top 15 pick, so maybe they will have already planned on putting him in. But who knows? In other pitcher news, Dylan Cease. No. Awesome for him. He's an absolute. I think he's the AL or National MLB strikeout leader. So pumped for him. Next one. I know you want to ride with it. Your boy Blake Snell.
Blake Snell, he's one of the weirdest case studies, I think, in like modern baseball, right? Mm-hmm. So he's a guy, he's got 2 Cy Youngs, right? One in both leagues, which is insane.
He's like one of the first people to do that. One of the first few people.
Right? So Cy Young in both leagues, up until this start, had never gone more than 7 2/3 innings.
Which, I mean, okay, so obviously there's a theory to it. It's not really hard to transcribe it. He's a power guy. He's a strikeout guy. He works a lot of counts. He strikes out a fuck ton of people. Listen, when you're a guy who gets 10 plus strikeouts, you're not a guy that really goes 8 innings. It doesn't really fucking happen like that. It's not something you do. When you like Jacob deGrom, I mean, he was a guy that struck out a shit ton of people, but he didn't hammer a lot of counts. Blake Snell just eats counts. He gets, he does whatever he can, but for Blake Snell, he eats up counts. He fills it up. That's kind of his game, his jam, for him. So him not going to be able to go deep, not really a crazy thing that I'm surprised about. It's just kind of always been his thing.
Yeah, the other thing that knocked him too is he was part of the Tampa Bay era of Kevin Cash trying to reinvent the wheel and do bullpen games. Every other start, which is crazy. Snell had a hell of a week, dude.
For like guys like that too, like that were Rays guys, I feel like it always hurts them in the hobby too, because no one ever knows what a Tampa Bay Rays starting pitcher actually is if they're going to be elite. They end up being great somewhere else. But if you look at guys like Tyler Glasnow, Snell, Price, all these guys that came from the Rays, they don't really have hobby relevance. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I hate it, but like you see other guys like on other teams have hobby relevant pitchers. Blake Snell should be relevant. My God, he should be. And I think he was a 2016 Topps Chrome guy. I could be very wrong. I think it was 2016.
No, it's in there. Yeah. 2015, 2016. It's one of those years. Yeah. Cause I bought one this year for like $12.
Yeah. I think it was the same year as Luis Castillo because I just bought, you have it now. It's in the grading file, the Luis Castillo Topps Chrome rookie auto. So I think it was the same year. But I mean, guys like him, Zach Wheeler, stud pitchers. I mean, they should have hobby relevant stuff. But I feel like when we talk hobby relevant for pitchers, it's got to be pure Bowman first, refractor or lower
or better.
Auto.
Yeah.
And they have to be in a PSA 10 or a Topps Chrome rookie auto in a parallel PSA 10. If they're in a PSA 9 raw, blah, 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 base, they don't go for money. If you have like I have the Luis Castillo Topps Chrome rookie auto, it's a refractor. If it 10s, it will be worth money. If it's a 9, you have a $60 card in your hand, one of those things. That it's tough because we love pitchers. So we'll move on to, I guess we'll talk about the Natty.
The Natty. So I unfortunately had to live a little bit vicariously through you. I couldn't make it this year. I was in Chicago for work. I was trying to figure out. I looked up flights, dude, to go from Chicago to Cleveland. It was going to be like $1,800 flight change. I sent obviously a bunch of unique stuff I have from Heritage with the guys. So I had cards at the National. I sent some of my Cleveland stuff with you guys, but 14 minutes. I'm stoked to go next year, but yeah, I want to hear more about your guys' experience for sure.
Yeah. So me and Sean went. We went with our buddy John and his friend. I mean, we saw a ton of people there we knew. Dude, when they talk about it, an experience, holy fuck. It was like being in a fever dream. Cards everywhere. Everyone wanted to trade, sell, buy. It's incredible. So I'll tell you about how it went. First day we get there. We pull up and then our hotel gets canceled. So that was great. So I ended up hitting up a buddy. Thank God he had us covered. So me and Sean ended up staying with him for the whole trip. Shout out to Johnny. Thank God we had him in our life because we would have been fucked. That's why we're already planning for next year right now. So we got there. That happened. I was like, whatever, we'll figure it out. Sean was a little, oh my God, what's gonna happen? I'm like, I'll just text John. We'll figure it out. John's like, no problem. We were already staying with him 2 days, so we ended up staying like 2 days earlier. It was a great trip on that part. So we got there. When you walk in, dude, and it's just so overwhelming. I got into the one room and I'm like, how do I navigate? What do I do? How do I do this? And I just kind of did it, walked around. So first day, I told myself, don't spend any money. I think I went with $2,000. Don't make that, if you're listening, don't make that your goal to have like $2,000 because I saw people with $100 and they were having time of their lives. I went with 2K. I just kind of saved for like a whole year. My case was stuffed with things to sell and trade and blah, 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 blah. So I went with that. And I just blanked out for a second. But yeah, so first day, didn't really spend a lot of money. We went to the hotel. My buddy John bought a case of Topps Chrome. We're sitting there. I picked 2 boxes. I ripped the first box. And of course, I hit a Wyatt Langford gold rookie auto. And I was buzzing. We were freaking out, just freaking. So I pulled that. And then I opened the second box. And I found out in Topps Chrome, in a case, there's a case hit box. And then another box actually has 2 autos. And I believe one of the autos is in orange. So I opened the second box. I opened the pack. It's an orange. After I pulled the first auto, it was shit. Open the second, it's an orange. I'm like, oh my God, it was an Oriole too. I was like, oh my God. There's 3 guys you can get that, or 4 guys you can get that are absolutely unbelievable. An orange color match auto. I pull it, Chris Valamont, a relief pitcher for them, who I don't think he's even on the active roster anymore. So I was like, fuck. So I pulled that Langford. And so when I pulled Langford, I was like, okay, this is going to grading instantly at the top at the PSA booth. I'll pay $250. I'll have by the end of the day. It's fine. But I was like, all right, Daddy's back. We're good.
Hey, buddy.
I don't know what the fuck happened. I can edit that though. But so, like I was saying, I was gonna send the Langford to the Topps booth. But I'm looking at the card and it's just it's OC. It's like 60-40, almost like 65-35. And I was like, let's see what we can do. So that night we end up we're gonna go to a trade night. The trade nights actually like 90% of them got canceled. All of them got canceled, which is like, that's one thing that I heard about this show that sucked was the trade nights were inexistent. There was only one, and it was at the National, and I heard the line was like 3.5 hours long.
Damn.
From what I hear, like the biggest thing at like Chicago and stuff is the trade nights in the hotels. They have their designated trade nights. So this one was not like that. So I go in my hotel lobby. We're like literally 5 minutes away. Go in the hotel lobby, and I just talking to guys. A lot of the vendors are actually there, and they're buying and trading. And I'm not lying to you, dude. I made $4,000 in the first night in the hotel lobby.
Damn.
Dude, and I mean like unreal. And the cool thing was I was buying too, so I spent a lot of money in the hotel lobby. But I was meeting people who are collectors from like, they've been collecting for a while, but they've had like such weird shit. Like, for example, dude, I'm talking to a dude. This was like the 3rd night, and he has the Topps Chrome. I had a Topps Chrome rookie auto of Carlos Correa, and it's a purple parallel raw, and it's in unreal condition. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get this and grade it. Because at this point, I sold so much shit and I bought so much big stuff. Like I sold my whole case and I bought so much big stuff. I was like, I need to refill my case and get inventory and stuff.
Yeah, dude.
Like I'm gonna buy a ton of raw stuff. So I mean, like this guy had Pedroia. I think you saw it. The Pedroia Heritage rookie or not rookie auto. It's the red ink auto.
Yeah, card's sick.
It's unreal. Carlos Correa, purple Topps Chrome rookie auto. He had actually a Chris Bryant rookie auto. It was blue parallel.
My man,
And
my man.
I'm like, I was looking. I'm like, you would have loved that card,
dude. Oh, for sure.
It was raw too and in perfect condition, but it was like to the point I was like, Chris Bryant, you know, at least.
Dude, I definitely would have traded for it.
I know he was asking like $200. I was like, I mean, it's a cool card, man, but like, no, not for me.
Yeah.
It was all for you. I know it would have been. But yeah,
that's awesome.
I mean, I've moved 90% of the stuff I had in my case, and I picked up some Grail cards. So I picked up it's on my Instagram. You can see my little tag. Right there. So number one, lower end stuff, I'll tell, and not lower end, but I picked up Fernando Tatis Topps Chrome rookie auto PSA 9 purple parallel, which is a great, in my opinion, great buy low. Tatis can come back as a superstar at any time. You never know. I picked up a Mookie Betts Bowman first auto PSA 9. That thing, great story about that. I'm just doing deals at the hotel, and some dude comes up to me and goes, "Hey, I got one baseball card. You want to buy it?" I'm like, "If you have one, it can't be that good." And he slings that thing on me. I'm like,
just an absolute nuke.
What do you want for it? He's like, "Well, I want $1,000." I'm like, no. And I saw the last comps, and the last one did sell for $1,000 and a PSA 9. I was like, pump the brakes, let's make a deal. I ended up making a deal on it. I got it for less than $1,000, but I mean, last comp was $1,000, so I think I did pretty well on it. Third one was I got a Bobby Witt Platinum Anniversary Blue Prism auto, the rookie auto, PSA 10 color match. Fucking amazing, dude. I was looking for that card for months on Facebook and everything. Look at Bobby Witt Collectors Facebook group and everything. People were asking $1,400 for it. I'm like, I can't do it. I'm like, and then I was at the Natty. Someone had in the booth. They wanted $1,200. I got it all the way down to $800.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, but like they would not pass on that. And the last comps were like, but the thing with the Platinum Anniversary is with the comps, which is really hard to sell. The card's hard to sell and they're hard to buy because you never know what the value is going to be. There's no comps on them because it's such a rare card. Like no one has opened a lot of that product. So those are kind of still sitting in boxes, a lot of them. And I couldn't pass it up, so I snagged it. And then my biggest pickup of the show, and I know you are loving on that card. The thing is, I love this card so much. And being a big Sox fan, I was in a bidding war with a child. So punch a 16-year-old right in your face. So I go up to the booth, and the guy's actually, his Instagram is Farley's Cards. Unreal dude. Super great to talk to. We negotiated for a half hour because he was firm on it, and it's a monster card, which he did not even want to sell it. I'm like, dude, I'm a huge Sox fan. It ain't going anywhere. He was an awesome human being. We took a picture and everything. He was great. This kid actually walked up while I'm talking to him. He's like, "Yeah, I'm ready to buy the mayor." I'm like, "Oh, you got a ringer?" I was joking around with him. And then the kid like offered him stuff. He's like, "No, I can't do that." And I was sitting there, I'm realizing, I'm like, "Oh, the shit, this fucking kid's really trying to buy this card." And I'm like, Rick, I was looking for this card for 3 days. I saw it at the first day of the show. And I'm like, I'm not going to buy it yet. I'll wait. I don't have the money. It's way too expensive. Didn't think I was going to turn out like it did. I had like the best show ever. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Everything could go right, went right, you know? And I saw the PSA 9 in another booth, and they wanted $2,800. And I'm like,
damn,
like, dude, comps are even close. Like, no. I was going to make a deal on that. We talked. The guy was actually a huge dickhead. If you're listening out there, you're a dickhead.
I hope you are, motherfucker. We'll see you in Chicago next year.
But, dude, I walk up to this table. Me and Sean, I was looking for it with Sean for like the third day. Second last night, I looked for it everywhere. And I just randomly stumbled upon it, dude. And I'm like, oh my God, there it is. So I ended up trading like a James Wood Bowman first auto PSA 10 and like another 2 cards maybe that were like $50 to $100, and then I paid him $2,000. So it came to like probably $2,400 I paid for it. And again, if you're listening, don't set a standard for this. I've been collecting for 4 years and had built up significantly to get to that point, and like just decimated my collection to acquire that card, which is a huge gamble. But I'm a Sox fan. And he's amazing. But yeah, I got that card. It's a grail card of mine. It's fucking incredible.
Yeah, dude.
You know?
I mean, the top 10 prospects, they're Bowman first in a true gold, in a PSA 10. I mean, that's like...
I think that's one thing that's crazy to me is that I actually acquired a true gold Bowman first auto, someone in a PSA 10. Like, when you think of these guys' best cards in like history, like think about like an Ohtani. I'm not comparing him to Ohtani, but I'm like, think about like an Ohtani Topps Chrome rookie auto, true gold. Like,
yeah, it's a house.
Or like I'm trying to think of like a top player. Like, imagine like a Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, Mookie, Acuna.
Yeah,
Ohtani,
like a true gold in a PSA 10. I mean, I actually didn't check pop count on it. I haven't checked it yet. I don't know why I didn't. But like, it's a grail card. It's like an elite monster card, and I couldn't pass it up, you know. But besides that, I mean, if you want some tips for the National, don't go with expectations. Just enjoy yourself. You know, but trade and stuff. Just have a good time. What I would suggest is don't blow your load on the first day. If you're gonna go for multiple days, don't blow your fucking load. Don't go and just be like, and then because on the second, third day you're gonna be miserable and desperate to sell stuff you really don't want. Go save money for the whole year if that's your goal. Save money. Go with set yourself a goal for a card that you would like to get. Don't make it a hard goal. Just give yourself a range. Have fun. Talk to people. Meet new people. Honestly, I only bought from like 3 tables. I did a lot of trading and stuff. Like truly bought from someone, I only did like 3 tables. I bought a ton at trade nights. At the trade nights, I bought an absolute ton. I had a great time. Just don't blow your load. Don't spend money on the first day because there's a lot of tables. A lot. There's a lot of stuff overpriced. Check your comps. Don't go crazy. And, you know, that's I'll have a lot more tips when we get closer to next year. But truly, it's an experience that everyone should have. And I am so fucking excited to go with you. We're going to have the best fucking time.
I'm
like,
so
we're going to get
so
nationally drunk at one night. But otherwise, we're going to have an unreal time.
Dude,
I'm excited.
I can't be more stoked. I mean, just see. So a little bit additional backstory to the case rip in the Wyatt Langford. I don't know if I was the first person you called, but you FaceTime me, right? I'm outside. I'm mowing my lawn.
You're the first person.
Yeah, dude. I'm mowing my lawn. I have like my fucking weed whacker in my hand, and I live in East Aurora, shit service. But call comes through. I'm like, all right, he's there. It's got to be something big. Got to answer it. The look on your face, dude, before you even showed me the card, it was like, I'm telling you, I've already mentioned them once. It's like when my 4 and 6 year old got to meet Mickey Mouse at Disney World. Like, that's the level of excitement that I'm really looking forward to next year. You were giddy as a schoolgirl. You couldn't fucking wait, dude. It was awesome. It was cool just to kind of like even see, you know, kind of you unveil it, your reaction to it. Just to have that experience is incredible.
Well, so, it was like Sean was next to me, and I'm like pulling, I'm like opening, I'm like, whatever. I'm like, oh, a gold. And I'm like this. I'm like, I didn't even like react at first. I looked, I'm like, what? Oh my God. Oh my God. I look at Sean. Oh my God. He's like, he goes, oh my God. And everyone's like, what the fuck?
It's awesome, dude. It's incredible.
Crazy. And then you know, I'm like, Sean, give me a fucking sleeve. Give me a fucking sleeve. And he throws it in. He's taking pictures like crazy. Dude, and then I'm like, give me, I gotta FaceTime Rick right now. And then I was like, he's gonna answer. You answered. I'm like, dude, oh God, it was incredible.
So awesome.
I did feel bad for John because it was his case, but I'm like, fuck you, John. You pulled. Okay, listen. He pulled an Ohtani out of 5 auto this year and the Dylan Cruz out of 25 Bowman first auto. No sympathy.
Damn, yeah, dude. Of course.
Johnny's gonna listen to this his ass off, but no sympathy.
Sorry,
no
Johnny.
sympathy.
I felt sorry for a minute until finding this news out now. So yeah, I don't feel bad anymore.
Yeah, dude. And then when I remember when he FaceTimed me and showed me the Dylan Cruz, I was like, that's not real. And he's like, I'm shaking. I'm like, yeah, no shit. I'm like, he's like, what should I do? I go, sell it right the fuck now.
No.
And I ended up hooking him up with someone to sell it to. So,
Nice.
And he made his money on it, like a lot.
Dang.
So,
yeah.
But I had the time of my life. I mean, it was our first one. And the only thing that I hated was the trade nights not being great. And I wanted to go past Saturday. I didn't want Sunday to be because we left Saturday at like 11, and I feel like Saturday would have been the biggest night for trade nights. So that's something that when we do plan, I kind of want to go into Sunday and then leave Sunday.
Sure.
But it was a dream experience. I truly, like, when I first got it, and I never thought that I would meet like such good friends to go with and to already have a plan for next year with some really great people. And I did, and I love those guys. We had the best fucking time. And I just can't wait for next year in Chicago. And I feel like it's going to be even crazier. And we already have this grading order happening, which is going to just grow my collection, your collection. And I already know you're already going to bring, I told you, bring everything. Any stuff that you have holding on to, bring it, because you can move it into the craziest shit. One thing I will say about the Natty is that there was a really big lack of Bowman. And I told you that, and you were surprised. Dude.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously we're in Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
Massive football town. We don't have, we have the Blue Jays that are close-ish with the AAA team here. So
we're the Bowman guys here.
Yeah, we're the Bowman guys. We really are the Bowman guys at the shows. And luckily there are, people who come in who like the prospect. I'm a heritage guy, so luckily there are some heritage guys that come into the shows.
I am not.
But I know,
I'm
dude.
not a heritage guy. I like
real
one. Listen, I love real one rookie autos. That's what I love.
So at the top, I mentioned like my dad, right? So every one of these years, I'm accustomed to having all of them in my hands, the originals, right? From this, mid to late 60s through the 70s. So I love the duplicate designs. I love what they do with heritage in general. But no, like at the National, that really, really surprised me with the lack of Bowman. But I don't know, man. I want to get there next year. I want to fast forward to next year.
Dude. Yeah, I can't wait. I would love to fast forward and just like skip the birth of my child.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's a big milestone coming out here, man.
Maybe the National. My baby can wait. Surprised I'm having a kid. But yeah. So dude, I'm so stoked. And I'm to the point where I'm like, I'm going balls deep. I'm saving a ton of money. Just same like this year. I'm going to save a bunch of money. I'm going to grow my collection at the shows and stuff. And there's actually, from what I heard, there's a lot of talks in local shows for Buffalo. There's a lot of talks and a guy's doing like a whole conglomerate of making a big show here to make it a big East Coast destination show. Just like Pittsburgh and stuff, they want to do that here, which I really hope it does. And obviously we want that to happen and grow our hobby here in Buffalo, which would be awesome.
For sure.
But my mind, Natty, I got to set a goal for next year. I mean, Marcelo Mayer will be here by next year. So
for sure, dude. Yeah.
I'm not going to be buying any more Mayer. I probably right now, I want to, we'll get into what we want to do coming into the next year and our goals. But what do we got? Passing the National. We're actually at 56 minutes. We got a little bit of time left. We'll talk trade deadline. We're not going to go super in depth, but who's your winner and losers of the trade deadline?
So, I mean, obviously the Marlins stacked on prospects.
That's my number one winner.
Right. But I have a sneaky number one winner. That's the obvious choice because they got monster bats, right? They got Agustin Ramirez. They got David Santos. They just piled up with monster names.
This is one thing I could say about that Marlins move and what they did. They purged the roster, yes. But, dude, like, what they got for Trevor Rogers, Connor Norby, and Stowers, are you fucking serious? They traded Chisholm, Josh Bell, Tanner Scott, everything. And the biggest haul they got was from fucking Trevor Rogers.
Trevor Rogers. With like a
What?
5 ERA.
Yeah. And he literally sucks. He sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they got Connor
Sucks.
Norby and Kyle Stowers. What I can say, though, is that I love what the Marlins did because they got Augustin Ramirez, which is huge. Davison De Los Santos, huge. Connor Norby, huge. You actually purely just you went from a very lower end farm system, which is I think it's actually was the worst in my opinion, maybe the worst, to probably a top 15 farm system in one single day. And it's huge for them and the hobby. I mean, it sucked for their hobby prospects. You know that.
Yeah. And without having any real marquee players to trade.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They had some complimentary. They got all of this return with complimentary players. That's what's even crazier.
Jazz is probably their biggest one. I know he's hot right now. In his cards, you can see his cards right now. They're having the Yankees effect because he had 2 home runs. You guys are gonna realize that dude fucking sucks. I'm sorry. He's I'm sorry. Like he's a talented ball player.
He's a good fit there. Yeah, he's a good fit there because of his personality. Like his personality is big enough to last on that stage. Dude, my sneaky winner, I think at the deadline, is the Dodgers. Dude, I love just getting Jack Flaherty and what he already did in his first start.
But what I hate is they traded nothing. They traded nothing.
Mm-hmm. Pre-string of injuries
sucks.
Yeah,
like they got Vivas and Myro Shendrick Martinez and Dalton Rushing, but like I fucking hate their farm system. I hate Dalton Rushing, and I think them acquiring Jack Flaherty for bullshit. I mean, granted, it was the Tigers. It was them panic selling.
Yes,
that's what they were doing, and it's just
exactly
go to the fucking Dodgers, of course. Like, and then they load up even more. It's just I hate them so much.
It's one of those moves for that franchise. Yeah,
I know it was a big dub. And then they DFA James Paxton, and he goes to the Red Sox, which I love. I think another second winner would. I don't consider them winners, but they did make some good moves. Is the Red Sox? I think they gave up a little too much for some guys, like Luis Garcia. They ended up trading like Cutter Coffee and some other guys, and they traded. What's his name? My God, he is this nephew of Carlos Beltran. I forgot his name. I loved him as a prospect. I forgot. I'm bugging out right now. I got to remember this. But they made some trades that I wasn't a fan of, but they got some pieces that I really liked. But yeah, the Marlins are the number one winners of this trade deadline. It's not even close. I think it was huge for them. I think it was weird for the Orioles to trade for Eloy.
Yeah, it just doesn't fit. I don't see where he fits.
No, and I mean they didn't trade either.
Yeah,
but for me, it was just surprising. You know, you had Luis Robert being a deadlock to get traded, and he didn't go anywhere. Obviously, the ask was too high, and the destination was Philly. And I'm assuming Philly did not want to move Aiden Miller. They didn't want not.
They don't want to. Justin Crawford, I think, hard no.
Yeah, they love Painter. They didn't want to move him. I thought Micah Bell was going to be on the move. I guess not.
Yeah, me too.
We talked about that. Micah Bell, like he's not going to fit in Philly. He's going to be a reliever of some way. He just can't be a starter. And I thought they were going to move him while he has that kind of starter prospect status still.
Yeah.
But besides that, Crochet didn't get moved. Scooball didn't get moved. Eloy didn't get moved. It was just really surprising.
Yeah, it was a weird one. And so for my losers, and I know he broke his hand being a fucking idiot punching a table or whatever, but the A's have got to be Padres. Obviously, they're the worst organization in the front office, maybe in baseball. It's hard to say they're the biggest loser because they're always the biggest loser. But to me, the A's doing basically fucking nothing was bonkers.
Yeah. Well, so this is what I'm seeing with the A's is that, you know, you have that big potential move and they have a lot of guys in the lurch where they could be actually a pretty good team. And if you have a new owner and the big move and you're going to have a lot of influx of being an actual big market team now in Vegas, or I mean, they're going to be in Sacramento, but when they do move they're going to be a big market team.
Yeah.
You're going to be spending – this team's going to be spending money. Oakland Athletics are going to be a big franchise. And that's what I'm saying with Jacob Wilson, Zach Geloff, Tyler Soderstrom, Henry Bolt coming up, and our guy fuck. Why am I blanking here? I'm not doing good in my mind tonight. Oh, my God. God. I invested him like a motherfucker. I'm blanking. Christ. Colby Thomas.
Colby Thomas.
Our guy, Colby Thomas. We love Colby Thomas.
Under the radar, Colby Thomas.
Oh my God, he's so good. He's so good. There's a lot there. This team could be a very big team in the future, and you should be investing in these A's guys. The only one that's really expensive right now, it was Zach Geloff. Unfortunately, you got the brunt end of that one, which sucks. I think he's still a very talented player. Jacob Wilson is the only one that's very expensive right now because he's a pure talent. We're not denying that. The rest of the guys, there's so much to invest in. And Mason Miller, Mason Miller's going to be gone. It's not a secret. He's going to be next year traded. But for me, the A's are a great team to invest in because they're going to be a big market team in 3 years. That's all I have to say about that. I mean, they're going to be
agreed.
One of our last topics is something you want to talk about. How is it hard to invest in players that their main talent is their speed? So I know you want to talk about it, and these are guys like Victor Scott, who just got called back up, Jonathan Clase. For me, it was a guy like Jarren Duran, but now he's showing in the big stage how he is truly beyond his speed, you know. And that's where I think kind of the speed thing has to come into play. You can't just you can't be Billy Hamilton. There's no hobby relevance with Billy Hamilton, you know.
Exactly, dude, for sure. And like the big guy whose cards are hot right now is Chandler Simpson. So Chandler Simpson, yes, he's got a sparkling. He's hitting like 330 plus right now in minors. I think he's really, really low K rates. But if you dig deeper into his stats, man, like his ISO is essentially non-existent. I think he has something like 12, maybe 14 extra base hits this year, 1 home run. I think he had like 16 or 17 extra base hits last year. So like almost all of his relevancy is a slap single and a stolen base.
Yeah.
And in the long run, dude, I just don't think that holds up any value. I mean, you go back and look at the guys that kind of fit that pedigree. We talked about guys like Sean Figgins, right? We talk about guys sort of in the same old D. Gordon, right? I mean, going even further back, Tony Womack. Like, these are guys that just great ball players. Don't get me wrong; they have certainly have a place on a team. Juan Pierre, right? They've got a place on a team. They make electric plays in the outfield. They slap singles. They turn into a double on the base pass, but they just don't hold up in the hobby.
A guy that like I can kind of fit this mold is someone that actually was Ben Revere. Ben Revere was fast. He was good. He was good in the field, really good in the field, and he had a really good bat. Tom, actually, who's on our pod, he actually PCs, I believe, Ben Revere, which is super weird.
It's a strange one.
But like, here's the thing, and I think he won the batting title one year. Like, I think oddly enough. But the thing is, if you're a speed guy, the only way you're going to be hobby relevant, longevity. And you have to be a 300 hitter or a 290, 280 guy.
For sure.
And you have to stick on a roster for a long time. Like D. Gordon, not hobby relevant. And he was one of the best. At one point, he was one of the best players in the league.
He's like a 283 lifetime hitter.
Yeah, and he was amazing. And he got on.
Yeah.
He stole a fuck ton of bases. He won me a fantasy championship. Here's the issue. He only did it for 2 years. And this is so Jarren Duran. Speedy as a motherfucker. He's someone that's different to me because he's dynamic in the field.
Yeah.
So like, and he had that 1 year where he had a really rough year, mental illness stuff, anxiety, not mental illness, but anxiety, which is mental illness, whatever you want to call it. I'm not a doctor. He had that anxiety issue, and he kind of turned around. He got the shirt that said "fuck him." He writes "You're alive" on his thing, and he just turns his game around where it's not just his speed. It's what he does with his speed. He turns singles into doubles. He's aggressive as hell. He's making plays in the field that 90 percentile of the league won't make. He's got the swagger, the attitude, but also, dude, he has 11 triples on the year. That's fucking insane.
Yeah,
he's on pace for almost 20. He's probably less now, and then I think he has 14 home runs. He just hit another home run today. Like, if you look at this guy, like Jarren Duran for like speed is what you should be looking at, because he is probably speed, like a pure speed guy wise, is probably the epitome of what you're looking for in a hobby guy. He's the one. And I know, I'm a Sox fan. I look at him I look at his stuff every day. I love the guy. But if you're looking for like a hobby relevant speed guy, you have to have some sort of little bit of power, or some guy that's so dynamic that anytime he gets on base, he has to be in the lineup every day, not a platoon guy. Because when you look at Victor Scott, I know he's fast as shit. He's a platoon guy in my eyes. Jonathan Clase is one that's maybe he just got traded though. Jonathan Clase is someone that could be huge. Yeah, he could be huge, but he also has, like we talked about before, he could have 20 home run potential, but he has to be a 20 home run guy with a 50 stolen base and hitting 280. And it does not come around a lot, man. It doesn't. So
yeah, dude, chicks dig the long ball. Hobby collectors dig the fucking long ball, dude. I mean,
yes,
it's sad. It's sad, but it is what it is true. And Jarren Duran's a perfect example of those guys that like, he's a little bit different, right? Like you said, he's not trying to slap a single and then get on base to stretch the middle. He's trying to impact the fucking ball and make things happen and turn a double into a triple.
He's been driving the ball like absolute fucking crazy lately.
Yeah.
This season is like an enigma for a guy like him, because how often do we see a player like him where, I mean, he's not Acuna where he's going to hit 40-40 or 40-70. Could he have 70 stolen bases? Yeah. But for him to hit like 20 to 25 stolen, or 20 to 25 home runs and get like 40 stolen bases, and also hit 11 triples and how many doubles, and be a guy who's going 3 for 4 every game, and it's amazing. And he's a guy that like is going to get absolutely paid for being on a roster. He's incredible.
No, he's a little bit bigger of a guy, right? He's pretty jacked, and he can hit the ball harder, but he's got a little bit of Ellsbury in his game, right? If he can be
about him,
much more consistent longevity wise over Ellsbury, but
I say about him, he's everything that Jacoby Ellsbury wanted to be.
Should have been, right? Yeah,
this is him. This is what the Red Sox wanted out of Ellsbury, and I think they kind of, when they let Ellsbury go, because Ellsbury was like unbelievable. He was my favorite player on the Sox until he went to the Yankees. Then he was dead to me, but he was like everything that they wanted it. And you have a reincarnation of Ellsbury in his prime. This is what you wanted. Maybe a little less power, but more speed and more dynamic in the outfield.
Yeah.
But you need him to stay healthy, and you need him. He hasn't missed a game all year. That's another thing.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Like, when do you see a player not miss a game? And that's his thing he strives for. He does not want to miss a single game, and he hasn't. And he is a guy that MLB teams dream about on a roster, and a hobby guy dreams about, because you get to see him every single game you watch.
For sure.
That's not like you get a Devers rest day or a Vlad Jr. rest day, etc., or Mike Trout out for 6 years. This guy has been playing every game. He's like Cal Ripken. He wants to play every single game, and you got to love it. But for speed guys, it's hard to invest. When I see a speed guy, I'm like, oh, he has 70 stolen bases and he banged 280. He's probably in high A or double A doing it. These guys, stolen bases, these guys get a ton of stolen bases. It's the average and the home runs that really, when you see that in the minors, that's where like you're like, okay, I need to throw my money into it. Well, I want to collect this guy.
And keep an eye on ISO, right? ISO is huge. That's the indicator for your extra base hits, for your power. That you're not just slapping the ball. And guys like Chandler Simpson, like their ISO is like basically 0.
Yeah. There's other ones like X average. So that's like your actuated ERA, what it should be. based on like luck and plays that shouldn't have been made, should have been made. That's another one. Just like how like pitchers, if you're a pitcher prospecting guy, xFIP and xERA are so huge. I think xFIP is one of my favorite stats for pitchers.
Yeah.
Like remember when Rick Porcello won the Cy Young?
Yes.
Fraudulent as shit because his xFIP was like
bullshit.
a 4. It was like a 4.2.
Like luck all year long.
Not a good pitcher.
Yeah.
He wasn't. He got lucky as fuck with a really good defense. Had no business being Cy Young. Awful. We'll move on from speed, guys. Just what we're saying, if you're gonna invest, be really careful. You got to hit a diamond in the rough, like different. Jarren Duran was a $5 Bowman first auto. Now it's like a $50 Bowman first auto, probably exceeding that. So just be careful. You got to have some kind of power speed combo. Can't just be a one-dimensional guy. So we'll move on to our final little thing that we do usually every episode. How about a buy, sell, hold? Let's do it. Buy, sell, hold for your hobbies. I got 3 rounds for you. I think you got some for me. Yep. So here we go. My first round. Buy, sell, hold. Colt Keith, Jacob Wilson, and Zach Geloff.
I gotta guess what is what here?
No. What would you do? Who are you gonna buy
with those guys? Okay, I love it. Of those 3, so I would buy Colt Keith. I think cards are not cheap, but I think he's scratching the surface of his potential. He's really starting to come into his own.
And I agree, because if you look at his stats right now, he's been I think he went from like a 210 average to 250. He's in double-digit homers, and he's got there's a real void to fill for stardom in the Tigers with him and Riley Green. Could be great.
Yeah. And you said Wilson and Geloff are the other 2?
Yep.
Fuck, man. I mean, you have to hold Wilson just because his bat's unbelievable, right? Like he showed his stuff at the highest levels of AAA in his first at bat, right? Right to single. So you have to hold. So I guess, unfortunately for me, who's sitting on some Geloff, the sell in this scenario is our guy under the Mendoza line, Zach Geloff.
Yeah, I agree. It's a tough one because I'm actually trying to actively buy Topps Chrome rookie autos of Colt Keith to grade, because first of all, I love his image and it's big. He looks like a monster, and I don't know why his cards for Topps Chrome rookies, they just pop. They pop so nice. They look great. I don't think I actually have any. Oh, you know what? I lied. I have a Wyatt Langford coming in. That's one story I like to tell, is that when I sold the gold Wyatt Langford, I ended up buying for the Aqua. So that's fun.
Yeah. I grabbed the Wyatt Langford 24 Bowman Sapphire. Obviously not his first, but still a super cool card. Got it for like $85 last night.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Geloff is tough. I mean, he hasn't, unlike Colt Keith, he hasn't taken that next step to go back to what we thought he was going to be. Could a nice spring training and some work on the offseason probably help? Yes, but I feel like the Tigers are a better organization to help these guys move forward. Unlike Spencer Torkelson. This one is fun. I like this one. I'm actually going to replace a guy. I wrote down Yoshida, but I'm gonna change it. So these are 3 guys that are hurt, that are actually returning soon. One's not returning soon.
Okay.
Buy, sell, hold. Tristan Casas, Josh Young, and Jung-Hoo Lee.
Okay. Man, good one. So I am a believer in Casas. So he's either my buy or my hold. Yeah. He's either I am buying a lot of his rookie stuff. So I have a lot of his top stuff. So I'm probably buying Casas. I am probably selling. Honestly, I'm probably selling Lee. And I think I'm going to hold on John.
I mean, that's pretty spot on what I was thinking too. But for me, I mean, both. If you actually look at Jung-Hoo Lee's stuff, his stuff is still selling for like his Topps Chrome stuff around is selling for a ton of money still.
Oh yeah,
which doesn't make sense. We don't know if he's.
You got 2 markets. Yeah, you got 2 markets, man. The international market, it keeps the value huge, especially when there's still a lot of unknown with him, right? Like he's still got plenty of hype because he hasn't played many games.
Yeah, and I mean the injury kind of sucks, but I mean he was playing well. It wasn't like bad by any means. He was playing well.
Yeah.
Um, but Josh Young did come back today and hit a home run. If you looked at his stuff, it has fallen to well below the Mendoza line of what it should be. Like
Yep.
it's unbelievable, like how low his stuff got, and it's so cheap. And same thing with Tristan Casas. Like he's a monster buy. His stuff is so. I saw someone post his Topps Chrome rookie out of 50 the other day for like $140. I'm like, how
It's
are you not?
crazy.
I need to start buying some more of his before he gets back because he is a true difference maker in that lineup. Big
On a great,
big.
on a great team, surrounded by superstars, with one of the greatest managers in the history of baseball. Like, he's set up for success.
Thoroughly agree with you. Yeah, and then Josh Young is coming back, and again, a huge market team who just came off the World Series, and he was he rookie of the year?
Yeah, I think he's rookie of the year.
Yeah, and I mean he's showing right. It's not like a Corbin Carroll situation. He's truly showing he's a really talented player. I don't know why he didn't get really big to start. It didn't make much sense, but I mean, yeah, I agree. For my last one, this one's gonna be fun. What are you saying?
I think he didn't get as big of a market because he's in that 2019 draft with just absolute dogs, dude. Right? You got Gunnar, you got Adley, you got Corbin Carroll, you got Michael, you got Riley Green. Like the whole that product is stacked. I feel like somebody had to give a little bit.
And he was in Topps Chrome 2023 with an absolute loaded class.
The same class. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the same guys. And Michael Harris. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I think he was kind of guy that was super slept on. You can get his Topps Chrome autos for dirt cheap. Dirt. Final one. This one, you're going to hate me for this one. Wyatt Langford, Max Clark, Walker Jenkins.
All right, my brain's in a little bit of a pretzel right now. So honestly, the buy for me in this scenario is Wyatt Langford. It is Wyatt Langford. Part of what we talked about earlier, right, is you got two high school guys that are still unknown. Right, they're both just got called up to A ball, right? So it's partly age, but it's also where the Langford market could go. Again, I think just being on the Rangers is just such an advantage in the card market. That you get a spotlight. They're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to, pretty much every year. You expect them to be great. So he's going to get a lot of prime time looks. Mm-hmm. We saw what his market was on release through spring training when he mashed.
Yeah, insane.
Obviously a bit of a dip, but he's got plenty of signs that he is that player that he showed us in spring. Mm-hmm. And I think
didn't he hit for the cycle?
Yeah, he hit for the cycle. Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
Exactly. There's another one.
Yeah.
I mean, how many guys as a rookie can you? Yeah. I mean, I know. So from that moment was tough for a buy. That was tough for a buy.
Yeah.
I would say for me in this situation, I think you finish your because I'm not going to you got to finish yours first.
It's weird because I think I think Jenkins probably long-term bat-wise might be a little bit more polished than Clark, but I think Clark's one of those ones that's got the potential to be true 5-tool, like superstar. Whether or not he puts it all in the next few years. Yeah, exactly. Right. Like he's one of those guys in that mold that he's got every single raw tool you could possibly ask for. So to me, he's got to be my hold, and I guess, reluctantly sell. If I had any, reluctantly sell Walker Jenkins.
Yeah, I think I'm. This is where I'm kind of agreeing with you. So I would kind of switch Langford and Clark. I would be buying Clark right now. His stuff did drop significantly. That's why I did end up buying the refractor auto.
Yeah.
Langford is a hold for me just because his stuff can still go significantly up at any time. I know his stat. He's hitting like 254, 260.
Yeah,
8 home runs or something like that. But for me, I mean that's kind of like where I got to be. I'm holding Langford, and that's why I bought that card so I can grade it and hold it for next year. I sold the gold because it wasn't the condition I wanted, and I was at the National. I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go buy something." And Jenkins' prices are still so high, and I just feel like we haven't got as much of him. So he's a guy that I would be selling right now. Just easy flip. Everyone wants him. He's an easy flip for being such a high prospect. So yeah, what do you got for me?
Okay, cool. So my first one, I got Justin Crawford, Davison De Los Santos, and Spencer Jones.
Oh, see for me, okay. Easy. Buy Justin Crawford. I love Justin Crawford like so much. I think he's going to be an awesome talent, son of Carl Crawford. I just think his skill set's fucking great. I think the way he's putting it, he has kind of moved on to that next echelon for power that they really wanted for him, and he's doing it actively. We see it. His average is dipping just a little bit, but the power's coming along, which I really like. My hold is tough. My hold now is probably Davison De Los Santos. He was so expensive out of that nowhere monster performance he had. 20 years old, and you're seeing he went all the way up to AAA, still leading. I think he's still leading minors and home runs. Kid's an absolute fucking beast, like an absolute fucking beast. And I think he could be the next star of the Marlins. And I mean, we saw it one time, Jazz Chisholm stuff was really expensive on the Marlins. And I think with this new farm that they just brought in and their amazing starting pitching, I think that, again, they could be a playoff team and Davison De Los Santos could lead the team. So you can have some significant value. Will he be traded to a new team eventually? Probably. Marlins fucking suck as a franchise. But I'm holding Davison De Los Santos, and for reasons that I'm selling Spencer Jones is because we saw Spencer Jones value fly when in a spring training game, and then he hasn't really done a ton in the minors, but it's the Yankees effect. He'll always have value, and you could sell him and always make money on a Spencer Jones. So that's kind of mine for that one.
Yeah, those are exactly where I would go for all those three. Like Justin Crawford's cards are still super cheap, dude. Literally my eBay watch list is just like, Jacob Wilson, Justin Crawford.
Anytime like I go on the Facebook groups and a Justin Crawford pops, I'm like, yes, I want it.
Yeah. I just saw a Speckle go for like $71 or something today. It's insane.
Raw?
Yeah, raw.
I would have bought that.
Yeah. Crazy, dude. Crazy. All right, my next one's got a little bit of a curveball in it.
Okay.
Jordan Lawler, Roman Anthony, Ricky Tiedemann.
Oh God. It's Jordan Lawler. All right, so I'm buying Roman Anthony. Roman Anthony stuff has, because I'm a fucking idiot. During spring training, this is my first time like significantly buying during spring training and trying to buy up some inventory. Don't ever do that. Don't do that ever. When spring training comes, you sell your cards. Do not fucking buy cards. Holy shit. So yeah, I'm buying Roman Anthony. I bought a purple PSA 10 auto for his Bowman first, and I bought it for like $500 something. It's now at like $300. So his stuff is significantly down, and he has kind of struggled in the beginning of the season, but he is kind of raking right now. And he left the one game during the spring training. And everyone's like, oh my God, he's going to be traded. And then the Red Sox came and they're like, he's not being traded. It's not true. He just left for precautionary reasons. Absolutely buying him, hammering him. He could be an absolute superstar. Everyone wants to be high on Max Clark and stuff. He's right in that same range right there. And he was a second round compensatory pick. Dude's an absolute stud.
Did you see his? Sorry to interrupt you here, but did you see his BP session at the Futures game?
Yeah, he's a fucking psychopath.
I mean, dude,
like he is ridiculous. So remember when Blaze Jordan went on that crazy in high school, hit the 500-foot home run? Everyone was on him. I was on him. This blows him out of the water. This is like Bryce Harper type talent.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm sorry. It's a perfect comp. He's a Bryce Harper type talent, just more speed. I love him.
Missiles.
Nukes. And he's still got to grow. He's 19. He's still got to grow. And he's in Double A, and he's a part of the big three in the Red Sox, and absolute buy. My hold is Jordan Lawler. For both of us, obviously, we both have some pretty big Lawlers. You have the red National out of 5 auto, PSA 10, and I'm holding on to his black and white Ray Wave Bowman First auto, BGS 95. I think Jordan Lawler can be still an absolute superstar. He was the highlight of 21 draft, I think, 21 draft.
Yep.
Probably that he was the biggest player out of there, in my opinion. I think he's still the biggest player. He's been hurt, and he's coming back probably relatively soon. He just had his rehab. He's in AAA, I think. Absolute hold for me on him. He's also a great buy, but I'm holding my Lawlers. And I'd have to sell Tiedemann. Probably not a lot of value there. But for me, I mean, he had his Tommy John surgery, which really fucking sucks. But for me, there'd be no point in holding him. You could sell it now and buy him up again later on the line. He was one of my big pitching picks. Just like him, Rhett Lauder, Jacob Mizorowski, who got called up to AAA. Forgot to throw that in the headlines, which I'm really excited about. I love Jacob.
Filthy.
He is. But yeah, Tiedemann, not on my radar. I'm fucking sending whatever I have out. Peace.
Yeah. I kind of almost fucked you with this one because these are 3 guys I'm actually buying. Or I'll probably wait another month or 2, maybe off season for Tiedemann and buy when it's in the absolute.
You can wait 7 months or 8 months to buy Tiedemann.
It'll get hot again. He'll get some love.
15 months, it'll get hot again. Dude. You could honestly, I bet you could buy his Superfractor auto for a Bowman First for under $1,000. I bet you.
Side bet.
You're gonna be like, that's what I bought.
Side bet. Challenge accepted.
If you can find it.
Yeah, right, dude. But yeah, no, like obviously it sucks. I'm with you. I watched him pitch last year against Norfolk, right? Mm-hmm. I watched him fucking blow away Holiday, blow away Mayo, blow away Norby. He looked incredible. So of course that night I was scouring online and just trying to scoop up anything I could for relatively cheap. But poor guy, just feel bad for him.
Yeah, I mean it's because he cut his hair. Pussy.
Yep. Don't do it.
You're like, well, he's ass hair.
Yeah. Take Syndergaard. Syndergaard looks like a giant pussy with his haircut.
I agree. Like if you got the fucking locks, don't fucking cut him. You look like an animal.
Yeah, right, dude. I mean, look at me.
All right. Don't be jealous, okay? You have a gift, okay? You have a gift. Fucking jealous over here. I gotta do something with this. I look like I'm homeless half the time. You're like, nope, smooth as a baby's bottom, baby.
Right. That's right. I get carded still at pretty much anywhere I go. Bars, liquor stores. I have my kids with me.
These are my children.
My children.
Nowadays you can have kids at any period. Jesus Christ. But yeah. So any more you got for me?
I mean, my last ones are kind of like a little off the radar here.
I'm fine with it. Shoot.
So I'm gonna throw you some deep ones. So Demetrio Crisantes, we talked about him just the other day.
Yes. Okay.
Luke Keschall.
Dude, okay. I like this one.
And Adael Amador.
Okay, love this one because I'm gonna go right in order. How you call it. I'm buying Crisantes. Purely because he is so under the radar and his stuff is so cheap and he's putting up some crazy good stats. If you're not familiar with him, he is a Diamondbacks prospect. Dude is so under the radar. You can get some big monster cards of him, and he's putting up some really impressive stats. He's probably gonna. I don't think he's in the top 10 yet, right? He's like 15 or 14.
I think he's 19 actually. Which after this year he has to be in their top 10.
After the Davison De Los Santos trade, and when Lawler gets called back up, I'm gonna tell you right now, Crisantes will probably jump in the top 10 of the prospect.
For sure.
So yeah, I'm absolutely buying him. My hold is Luke Keschall. He's putting up really nice stats. He was in last year's Bowman draft because I actually pulled a few of him, like some parallels and stuff. And he was a no-name, Kind of very much under the radar guy. He's a twin, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, very, very much under the radar. He was a guy that you didn't really focus on in the twin spot. But he's put on some really good stats, and I see a lot of people wanting his stuff.
Dude.
He's kind of overshadowed by Jenkins, so he's probably a really good buy at the same time and a good hold. Third one was
Ade Amador.
Ade Amador. I'm selling Ade Amador mainly because he's been pretty hot in the minors again after getting demoted back to, I think, AAA. It was a weird situation, though. I bought Ade Amador in spring training. Did not think he was going to get called up. He's 20 years old. The Rockies rushed him for no apparent reason. Like, I know he wasn't even playing that good in the minors at the time. Just made no sense to me. But yeah, I'm selling Amador because he's hot and stuff is going up again. But yeah, I do like the other two, Crisantes and Keishel. But also, Amador is probably a decent buy too.
Yeah, I kind of have him in a similar sentiment. Crisantes, I think you can still get his base stuff for like 10 to 15 bucks. He's maybe the biggest recommend we can have this week on a buy is go out and try to get as much of his stuff as you can. Kestrel is I don't know if you've seen like his stat lines. It's like otherworldly elite, and he's still like not that expensive.
I think he was a high schooler too.
He was I think he's a college guy, right? I'm pretty sure he was. I think so, because I think he's almost 22.
I thought he was. I could be wrong. I could be thinking of someone else.
Yeah, but like, so he's got this year. I'm gonna rattle off some stats. I pulled some of his recent stats. He's hitting like 320. His ISO is almost 200. His K to walk's a 1.25. He's got a sub 20K percentage. He's got, at least the time I pulled this a couple days ago, 14 bombs, 21 steals. Like the kid is.
Yeah. So I just pulled it up. He's hit 309, 14 home runs, but he's now at 23 bags.
23 bags.
His OPS is 914.
Dude, he's
awesome. He is 21. He did go to Arizona State. I should have known that.
A-State. Okay, yeah, right. Already in Double-A, right?
He was a second-round pick. I mean, his stats are very, very impressive. Like, very. Like, he's a really good buy right now, too. His stuff did bump up a bit, but, man, he came out of nowhere.
Yep.
Go Red Devils. But that's pretty much all I got for tonight. You got anything else?
No, buddy. That's it. I just appreciate you inviting me to join the pod, and yeah, hopefully I can impart some wisdom and yeah, bring some.
I loved having you here. It made life
baby
a lot easier. It made life great. Your wisdom is phenomenal, and love having you as such a great collector, part of the pod and everything. Rick's gonna join up. We're going to force him to get some freaking social media up in here for his cards because he needs to share his collection to the world because it is fucking ridiculous. If you could see some of the stuff he has and his Jordan Lawler, you're going to next pod, you're going to bring it on. You're going to show it because it is so awesome. That thing is so sick.
Yeah, maybe I'll try to build a wall for next time.
Yeah, we're going to get you on Instagram. You can start posting on there. But again, Rick, thanks for being on here and everything. You were awesome. Everyone, thanks for listening. I'm happy to be back. We're going to try to get on a regular schedule. It's tough because we have daily life and it sucks. But yeah, we'll get back onto it soon and get on a regular schedule. So thanks for everyone listening up. Rick, thanks for coming. And we'll see you guys later.